web3.tv.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Traders Brawl podcast. I'm Adel, the host. Today I have a special guest with us, Hajo Horst, who we're going to get into in a second, who is a business psychological consultant. We're going to get into the psychology of business and the workplace, of how we can hack the workplace and the brains of the workforce for better outcomes. Before we get into this, welcome. We are Traders Brawl Media. We are a social media platform, and we are here to educate. We bring in new guests every week, entrepreneurs, CEOs, and we're here to educate about what they're building in this space. In this particular episode, we're focusing on the wellness side, because as you know, our tagline is fitness with financial freedom. So we're going to delve into the psychology of how the brain works. Hajo, how are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm going to read your bio so that the audience knows more about you. So, Dr. Hajo is an internationally recognized cognitive neuroscientist with over 30 years of experience blending brain science with business coaching and EMDR psychotherapy, which we're going to define in a second. He is the creator of NeuroCode, a neuroscience-based breakthrough system designed to help high-performing individuals eliminate subconscious blocks and live fully aligned lives. His 7-pillar analysis targets key areas like body, emotions, relationships, time, money, work, and meaning. Through his personalized coaching, he helps entrepreneurs sleep better, reduce anxiety, and reconnect with fulfillment while still thriving in their businesses. Dr. Hajo's mission is to turn internal struggles into lasting clarity, peace, and purpose. Wow, what a bio you have. Yeah. Love it. I really want to get into what inspired you. And what's your story behind choosing a career like this?
Yeah. I was inspired, I knew this from when I was 15, 16, that I wanted to study psychology. I knew this from the start. And then later on in my professional career, I found that only talking does not really move the needle, does not really change something in the brain. And what I discovered then was a method called EMDR, which you not can only use for trauma. We get this trauma. What is trauma, the concept? But you can also use it for coaching and for performance enhancement. So I learned this method about 27 years ago. It comes from the United States. It's well researched, the best researched trauma therapy tool, and ever since I've been practicing this amongst other tools. So
let's get straight into the EMDR concept as you mentioned it. Help me understand how this treats patients.
Yes, first let's take a look at a brief look at the concept of trauma, because trauma for some people is, I did never have whatever. I've never gone through any sexual abuse. I've never had an accident where my life was at threat. I never experienced something like this. Okay, this would be considered a big trauma. Big trauma is something where your life was at threat. But then there are also small trauma issues. Like, for example, when someone a teacher or someone else humiliated you in front of someone else, okay? Where this wave of shame goes through your body. And this is stored in the limbic system. And it is stored there forever.
Limbic system?
Limbic system is where our emotions are stored.
In the brain.
It's the part of the brain where the emotions are stored. Okay. And you can also see this or make this visible in all these modern tools that we have to show the brain how it works before trauma, and then once you do this EMDR thing, how it operates afterwards. You can see the results literally. So a traumatic incident or the emotional load of that incident is stored in the part of the brain where our emotions are stored, and it never goes away by itself. It is permanently stored until we break the connection. And so we're coming back to your question. This is what EMDR is capable of. What is EMDR? It is an acronym, and the first two letters are for eye movements, EM, eye movements. So what we do basically is we do fast horizontal eye movements.
So is it like an exercise?
It is not an exercise that you have to do by yourself. It is something that your therapist or coach would help you with.
Okay.
Okay? You don't have to do anything, but I'm, for example, ever since I use this method, I'm using a light bar. So a light bar just gives you a visual stimulus. It's in front of you.
Okay.
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 And then these are the first two letters, EM, eye movements. Then you have D for desensitization. Desensitization means what we're going to do is desensitizing the emotional load of that traumatic event. Okay? This is the condition that we need to achieve. The emotional load, which is like overwhelm, like being speechless, like feeling something in your body, like this wave of shame, for example, or this helplessness or whatever, we have to desensitize it. And then we come to the last letter, R, EMDR, and it stands for reprocessing.
Reprocessing.
So we can reprocess it, meaning now only then the client is capable of integrating it, giving it some kind of sense, giving it some type of meaning, and taking the lesson out of it. And sometimes even imagining a better ending, which was lacking. And time in that aspect does not matter.
So this is interesting. Let's say I was embarrassed at school, a teacher made fun of me, everyone laughed at me, and I'm now, let's say, traumatized by this. 20 years later, I still have this stored in my head, and sometimes it can wake up. Okay. How would EMDR help me forget this, or as you said, try and change the ending of that? How does that work?
It would work. First, we start with a preparational phase.
Okay.
Like we would also use eye movements, but at a slower pace, to anchor a helping person, to anchor some, like, whatever you would have needed in that situation 20 years ago. Okay? So like a protector, someone strong, a guardian angel,
Right.
Some sort of protector,
Right.
a guiding, a helpful animal, whatever. Okay? So we would integrate and anchor this in the beginning. That's the preparational phase. You never start with going into this traumatic event immediately. Okay? This would be really a big error from the therapist or coach side. So once we've established this, and you feel safe enough to approach this episode happening 20 years ago, then we would really delve into it by picturing the worst part of it, assessing where do you feel it in your body. Like there is a part in your body which usually you would feel it, naming the emotion that you had, which probably in that case might have been shame or helplessness, even anger.
Including.
And the anger at that time did not have a chance to come out.
It didn't, yeah, because I was still a kid.
It is still stored.
Yes.
Okay, so your brain did the math and say this is not a good moment to come out with my anger, but it's still stored.
Yes.
Okay, we would assess all of this, and then start with the fast eye movements, and we would do short. In general, we would do short intervals of like 30 seconds. And then I would ask you what is happening right now. And you might go through the situation for a couple of moments, for a couple of sets again, okay? And then what we see repeatedly is that we could, for example, we could introduce this helping person that we installed in the beginning, and using the eye movement, we could. First of all, the eye movements always reduce the emotional load.
Okay, but let me tell you something right now. As I'm thinking about that moment where I did have this once.
Oh, okay.
As I'm thinking about it, the emotions I'm getting right now is standing up, squaring up my teacher, and maybe even either staring him down, or maybe even I might have punched him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
In front of everybody watching that punch.
Yes. Everyone now would see how you punched him.
Yeah.
Right?
And I would say it's justified.
Yes, it is justified. And then you would go with some other words.
Yeah.
And you maybe whatever you want to have, what you would like, what you wanted to say to him in this moment.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And using the eye movement, we can make this even deeper, anchor it, right? So that now you have, previously you had a negative cognitive belief about yourself in that situation, okay? And we want to change this negative belief about yourself. And this is what always works. So now, if you see yourself with this new ending, punching him, telling him a few words, like a 5-minute speech to him, what you always wanted to deliver, what you always wanted to get rid of, there you are. And then we would anchor the positive belief that you are having with this new positive ending. Like, I'm strong, I'm invincible.
I'm in control.
I'm in control, right? See?
Right.
See? So, and then we would anchor this. And from now on, this memory, and memories only are like connections in the brain, this memory is dissolved once and forever. And this is the beauty of EMDR.
But it's still I didn't get to do it. Doesn't that still affect the patient, that I didn't get to do it?
No. Yeah, I get this question.
It was a good thought.
Yeah,
it was a good experiment, but I didn't do it.
Yeah. The eye movements are lacking. The eye movements is something that would make a difference. Because they open a window of change. They open this window of change. And once you've gone through this new ending and really like seeing yourself acting out all the things you were not capable of doing in that situation, you know, this is a holistic thing, what we're doing. It also plays into the body. The body will notice that there are changes. You feel better, you feel relieved, you feel
adrenaline.
The adrenaline, you feel like your muscles that maybe previously have been like a little bit tighter than usual are now relaxed because you've given him the punch and you said everything out loud, and then you're done with him.
Yes.
And I know I get this quite often, but you know, this is why movies work. Movies work, theater work. The ancient Greek knew this. Even if everyone is aware that this is only a play, right? Living through the emotions, take an action thriller, you're there.
You're there on your edge of the seat.
And your brain produces the hormones as if you had been the hero or the villain or the victim.
Yes.
You know, for the brain, it doesn't matter. And we're taking advantage of this. For the brain, it doesn't matter if you've gone through this, if you're going through this in an EMDR session now, and the past, it doesn't matter. As soon as the old connection is dissolved, the brain can no longer think of it as a traumatic event. It can no longer feel it.
Right.
And what is more in the foreground is the positive ending, and what we're always aiming at is the positive belief about yourself. If we anchor this, I'm strong, I'm in control, I'm invincible, I get support, I have enough power, wow. Then you become fearless, and then life becomes limitless.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, this is a very interesting perspective.
Yeah.
You also started with a 7-pillar analysis. Now let's delve into the workplace. What pillar do entrepreneurs tend to overlook the most, would you say?
Very often the body.
The body.
The body. They say, I'm making lots of money. I'm good with all the processes.
Let me just remind the audience what the 7 pillars are. Which is body, emotions, relationships, time, money, work, and meaning. Those are the 7 pillars. Before we get into this, how did you craft this? Is this your analysis?
It is. Later, yes, it is my analysis. Later on, I found it from someone else.
Okay.
But it comes out of my experience. You know, if we look, I've worked for over 3 decades.
Right,
you know,
right.
so if I want to identify the number one internal problem of an entrepreneur or C-level management, I have to categorize it. So what we find is usually the same topic, they play into other areas. And we want to condense or extract, you know, the one thing that is keeping them from being happy, you know, what's making them sleepless or stressed out repeatedly. So, yeah, this is just coming from my expertise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And in this 7-pillar analysis, what can you extract from this? So when it comes to, like, say, money, work, meaning. Let's start with the money.
Yeah.
Where can you help in that aspect?
Oh yeah, very interesting, because money basically is also a feeling, and you have a money story. You have also, what we know now is that the experiences of your ancestors play a big role in your money story. So it's not only your personal experience with money, but it's also the experiences that your ancestors made with money. So you might be good at making money, but are you good at keeping it and making it more? You know, that's a big question. Some people are very good at making money, and then at the end of a term or a year, they find themselves, oh, I have so many losses. I don't understand. I was so good, right? And so with money, that's a good example for like this invisible force where your subconsciousness is playing the biggest part. You know, it has the 95% of responsibility for all of our results. So you might be consciously very good at something or an expert at something, and the subconscious mind is always acting on very old programs. So if you inherited or gotten the belief or the experience from your ancestors that, yes, you might be very successful, but then you lose it all, this might play out. And this is not, and then you wonder yourself, you know, you ask yourself, why is this happening? I was so good, you know, I was making so much progress, okay? So money also is a feeling, and I can help identify what is your feeling towards money, what is your story with money, what might have been the story of your ancestors, what is blocking you. Maybe you had a negative experience, like you lost money or you weren't educated at dealing with money. For money, you also have to have skills. Sometimes it's not the emotion and it's not the mindset, but it's a skill.
Skills. You need to have skills.
So it's a multifaceted approach.
You mentioned as well that you, with NeuroCode, it's a breakthrough system designed to help people eliminate subconscious blocks.
Yeah.
What's a common subconscious block in your research?
I'm not good enough. I think this is one that is very, you know, this is, I think every one of us has gone through situations, maybe at school, you failed at a test, you failed at an exam, you failed at anything, or your parents might, you know, there might have been a situation where your dad said, you know, just a gesture would have been enough. Okay, come on, I know that you're not as good as me. Okay, so I think this is plays a big part. Yeah, I'm not good enough.
Yes. How do you overcome that?
Well, usually what I do using EMDR and many other tools is I'm implementing new information which feels true to you. So we might be looking at your moments of success at first. That's the first thing. You know, I mentioned we never dive deep into a negative emotional belief. We always do a preparational phase. So in that phase, we would be looking for moments of success, breakthrough moments, moments when you felt so strong. Okay? Yes. And we're going to anchor this, for example, by using eye movements.
Right.
And then we would, and that's the smart thing about EMDR is you don't have to know the situation where this belief occurred. We can simply use the eye movements and say, okay, just go with these words, I'm not good enough, and see what pops up.
So while you're looking at the eye exercise,
Yes.
you're saying words.
Yes, you might be doing this silently, like doing the eye movements. Okay, fast.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really opening this window for of change. This is opening also like a search mechanism. Your brain is the most intelligent machine that we, as mankind, know of.
Yeah.
Right. So it opens a search mechanism. Like, okay, I'm not good enough. Okay, I'm not good enough. And then, believe it or not, regularly a scene pops up, which might serve as a kind of representative moment.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to work on all the scenes where you sense this or experience this. Starting with one, we're entering this network,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can eradicate it or dissolve it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. And then you can stop thinking, from this experience, you stop thinking that you're not good enough.
Yeah, because what we're doing is we're disconnecting. A memory is nothing but a combination of neurons wiring together, firing together, okay? So EMDR has the potential, it's a neurobiologically based tool, has the potential to dissolve this connection. So once the connection is dissolved, it is no longer a memory, or it is no longer a belief that holds truth for you.
Interesting.
It cannot be.
Is this a form of hypnosis?
No.
No?
No.
How does this differ from hypnosis?
You're staying fully awake. You're staying in EMDR, using EMDR. You stay fully awake. You stay fully present. You might go back in time, but the eye movement keep you totally in the moment. And that's the beauty of it. So for all people who say, I'm a little bit afraid of hypnosis, or it hasn't worked for me, or I don't feel comfortable, going into a trance state of mind, you stay completely in the moment. And also it focuses on a different part of the brain. So inducing slow eye movements, or inducing hypnosis, changes the brain wave, the state of your brain. And while as using fast eye movements, this is a very demanding task, by the way. So at the end, you might feel a little bit tired, right. But we're using the working memory. Right. So you stay fully awake, right. Fully present. Big difference.
Okay. And do you are you in favor of hypnosis? What's your take on it?
I used it myself. I went to a colleague. It created some nice pictures.
And you've done it before? Hypnosis therapy?
I've done it as a client.
As a client?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were a client and somebody treated you?
Yeah.
Okay. How was your experience?
It was nice. It was good. It created some nice inner pictures.
Were you in a state of trance?
Kind of. Yeah? Really deeply relaxed, yes.
While closed eyes, everything?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. With EMDR, you cannot close your eyes.
No, you're using your eyes. Interesting.
Exactly.
So maybe both have different needs.
Yeah.
Hypnosis maybe something else deeper. Would you say maybe deeper or no?
On a different level. On a different level, you know, it creates solutions. I would say it creates solutions on a different level.
On a different level.
And for us being successful people, we never think in terms of either or. We always think in terms of, this and this, whatever floats the boat.
Right. Did you achieve your goals with hypnosis by the end of it?
At that time, not really.
Not really.
But because the solution was had to be found on a different level.
Okay.
It was not.
So it wasn't the right level.
It was medical.
It was medical.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Interesting.
Yeah.
The state of trance thing is an interesting concept for me. I've been in one state of trance before with a the podcaster who was in your seat, and he made me almost. I was in a state of trance. I felt asleep.
Yeah.
I felt deep sleep.
Yeah.
But actually, what was happening was he was reading out things, and I was repeating.
Yeah.
Until a point where I stopped repeating because I just fell unconscious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I later found out that I was in a unconscious state, not asleep, but an unconscious state, state of trance. And I don't remember much, but when I woke up, I was disoriented, disorientated.
Okay.
It was an interesting experience to know that this could happen to me. I thought I was always in control.
Yeah.
So for me, that opened up a new thing.
Yes.
And you never know. I did feel very relaxed.
Yes.
Very sleep. I felt exhausted actually.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was the right feeling to have.
Okay.
But I felt exhausted afterwards.
Okay.
So
okay.
I don't know. It's a blurry area for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. Okay. Let's get into now. You mentioned to me that you invested some of your money into crypto.
Yes, I did.
Great, you were
Bitcoin.
Let's cheers. That makes both of us.
Yeah.
What inspired you, or how did you discover crypto?
I'm always looking. I'm so curious. I'm such a curious person. This is what brought me into crypto, and I think the main thing is my top value. Everyone has to know their values. Every entrepreneur should know their values. So my top value is freedom. So
financial freedom in this case, or freedom in general?
Freedom in general.
Yeah.
Freedom in general.
In all.
So yeah. So when I was looking at the banking system and all of this, I think we all know about what we're talking about is hey, there's no freedom, there's a lot of control. And then I came across this Bitcoin thing, which was the most popular coin at that time. Yeah. And then my brain works as anybody's brain, like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Our brain is always wired for safety first.
Safety first.
Energy saving.
Yeah.
Saving you pain. These are the top priorities. Okay. This is for every entrepreneur. This is not the top priorities that are very helpful in running a business. Okay, so my brain and then only comes success and moments of thriving and Okay, so I had to master all this. Is this safe? I read a lot, for my conscious mind. And then was it time saving? No, I had to do a lot of research. Right? And could I avoid some pain? Yeah, until now I've avoided a lot of pain. And of course, I did some learning, I did some research, and then courage is another big thing for me. So I did it.
Did you invest a big amount,
yes,
like
I
a
would
big
say
lump
so.
sum? Like how much are we talking figures-wise? 4 or 5?
6 figures.
6 figures in one shot?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you just went fully. I'm gonna put this
and
amount of money.
We're not talking dirhams here.
We're talking dollars. Dollars? Are we talking, or euros?
Yeah. Euros.
Euros. Which one was it? Which coin?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin itself.
Yeah.
Good choice. The most decentralized version. The most decentralized coin.
Yeah. Once you understand the differences between all the coins, and their structure and their
Interesting. And you've been holding since, or you've been selling? What's been your situation?
Holding it.
Just holding it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very good.
Waiting for the good things to come.
Are you earning interest on it, or are you just holding it for now?
I'm holding it right now.
Okay, great. And curious, which platform do you use? Binance? Which are you using a decentralized exchange?
Actually, I'm not storing them there, right? That's for sure.
Yeah.
What I use is Binance mostly, yes.
Binance.
Yeah.
As in when you say
buying it.
where do you actually store it? Do you store it on a hardware?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Off the internet, off the grid. That's how it should be. I've always encouraged people to be your own bank.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, I think you have to go all the way, and then of course you have to do some research. How is this done? How do I use a cold wallet? Yeah. But
cold wallet storage.
But once you start it, you want to go all the way, right?
Yeah,
you don't want to stop at, I have this on some kind of exchange. No.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
you help people experience more joy and let go of fear. What's the biggest fear you see holding people back from their real freedom? I know you mentioned, I'm not good enough, right? Is that changing? Is that becoming more like, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money? I feel for me, that's the new thing. Before it was, I'm not good enough when I was a kid. Because grades, that's all you knew, grades. But as you come out of that, you become an adult, it becomes job.
Yeah.
After job becomes relationships, other things. And what I find for me is I don't have enough time. I want to spend time with my loved ones. I don't have enough time because job demands are very demanding.
Yeah.
And then other things, I want to build big things, but I don't have enough money, resources.
Yeah.
So for me, this is one of the biggest setbacks. I wondered, from your side, is this something similar that you experience for yourself that's holding you back from real freedom? Or for the general population's real freedom?
No, first, it's always helpful to identify it because it is a belief, and as Henry Ford put it decades ago, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're always right. So the first thing is to identify this, because if you're going with a sentence, I don't have enough time, this is very limiting. So the first thing would always be to master this, okay, and becoming aware of it. As they say, awareness gives you choice, and choice gives you freedom. That's the step. Awareness gives you choice, and choice gives you freedom. So the sentence, the phrase, I don't have enough time, is narrowing, is limiting.
Okay.
Okay? So you want to be cautious with this. Because, but I'm getting the idea behind it, but let's dive into it. So first, what you want to become aware of is, what kind of limiting belief am I having right now? And is this thought helpful? Usually not. Is it constricting? Yes. So which kind of thought is more helpful? Which would be serving me better? So like, I can create a system with which I have more freedom and which helps me generate more money. This would be a sentence that opens up your subconscious mind. So now it would start looking for more solutions. It would attract other people. It would attract other circumstances, right? So this is the main thing. So this
But I have some pushback.
Okay.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. Some couples have kids.
Yeah.
Naturally, kids need to be schooled, need to come back.
Yeah.
How, as a parent, can you manage kids, which is already a full-time job, plus your own full-time job, plus you need sleep, plus you need food, plus you need to clean up after your food, and you need to clean up after your kids. How can you rectify and say, there's still time? There is still time.
Okay. I think you start, okay, first of all, I've been through this. I have 2 children.
Okay.
They are 30 and 33.
Wow.
Okay. So I've been through all of this, and my wife at that time also worked, so we both worked. So the way we did this 33 years ago, we created a simple schedule.
Okay.
And we distributed time and money, like who is responsible for what kind of money, and who is responsible for the kids at what time.
Okay.
Then we engaged babysitters, reliable one, not only one, but at a certain period, there were 3 babysitters we had. Nice. So we did not want to depend on one.
Of course.
Freedom.
Smart.
Okay. So we created a system out of it. And this system is ever changing, you know. Sometimes your kids need more attention, more time.
Right.
Okay. Right. So this is on the practical side of things, like the skill side of things. You never have time. You always create time, or you make time. So it would be important to discuss priorities within the couple, and then time. I think we talked about this previously.
Yes.
There is no time.
There is no time.
But you could, if you think about time, you would also look at it from the point of view: when do I have quality time with each other? With the kids, the kids don't necessarily have to have you around 8 hours. This is boring them.
Mm-hmm.
But playing for you with all of your attention, and also intention, for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, does the job.
Mm.
Those are memories for your kids that remain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So this would be like two.
I love that response, but to your sentence about time doesn't exist, some people might find that very unfamiliar and very, very like, how can you say time doesn't exist? And I'm going to try and speak their language, because this is actually the mindset I still hold technically.
Yeah.
There's 24 hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
5 of that hours or 6 is going to sleep.
Yeah.
That means
Better
you
7,
have 18
probably.
or 7. Okay, you have 18 hours left out of that.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you cook,
Mm-hmm.
you clean up, you eat.
Mm-hmm.
That takes time away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we've got only roughly about maybe 14, 15 hours real time.
Yeah.
There's only 15 hours real time for yourself.
Yes.
Isn't that limited, and isn't that
It is.
logically a number that we can use in order to build schedules?
Yes. Yes. It is limited, of course.
But then how can you say there's no time? How can you say
because
time doesn't exist?
in quantum science there is no time. When it comes to trauma, there is no time. And there is no time in the sense of we only have this moment. This is what I'm saying. We only have this moment. Try to, for example, you cannot live in the future.
No.
And you cannot live in the past.
No.
Have you ever lived in the past? Not possible.
No.
So you can only live
in the now.
In the now.
Yes.
So you want to make your now count. And it is about decisions. Yes, if I have a limited something, like time, hours, it's important to look at it. How can I use my time in the smartest way? How can I make more money? How can I generate more money? Am I using my time on my highest income activities? That would be an important one. Because sometimes I see people wasting their time a lot. Talking about time waste, like scrolling, we all do this.
Yes, we all do this.
Okay.
Dopamine.
Again, we're coming back to the brain and how it works.
Yeah.
I want some more dopamine. And I don't want to do the chores in the kitchen right now. I want to do this.
And more.
And this.
It's called doom scrolling.
Yeah. So, actually, if we're honest, I think we have many moments that we are
wasting time. True.
And not distributing it on the highest income activities.
Right.
And not building a smart system around it.
Right. No, well said. I think that comes down to my discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline of priorities, like you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. We're just about to wrap up, but I have one final question.
Yeah.
Is there a mental exercise that we humans can do every day to maybe reset our brain? Any mental tricks that you can recommend? Daily or weekly?
Yes, usually I'm teaching my clients a lot of exercises that they can do without me, because I want to make them independent of me. But if I were to think of a very short one that everyone can do right now, it would be a breathing technique, but with a little bit of adjustment. It's called Take 6.
Take 6.
Take 6, like taking 6 breaths, okay? And it's from my mentor, American mentor, John Assaraf. So it would include like breathing in through your nose, breathing out as if you were breathing out through a straw.
Okay.
And now comes the fun part. I mentioned awareness, okay? So I want you to be aware of the stressful feeling that you might want to get rid of in this very moment. Like time stress, for example. Okay? Like being under pressure. Okay. So I want you to picture the next time when we're doing this exercise, breathe out pressure. Okay. And then what quality, what would be beneficial for you? What quality would you need? And this is the one that you're breathing in, like relaxation, for example, calm.
Calm.
Okay, so we can do this together now, and we say, breathe in calm, and breathe out pressure.
Interesting.
And do this for 6 times repeatedly. So you're imagining the calm coming in through your nose. Okay, and you're picturing the pressure.
And it all just
goes out.
Goes out.
And if you do this repeatedly for 6 times is enough, like 90 seconds roundabout, and you're picturing yourself pressure leaving all the cells of your body for a moment, you'll be a completely different person after this 90 seconds.
Interesting. Love that. Awesome. Hajo, that's a great way to end the podcast. I want to say thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for having me again.
And your wisdom today.
Okay.
Thank you so much. All right, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you found this insightful. We'll leave all the links in the description so you can check out Hajo's profile and his neuroscience work and his research. Really, really top stuff here. And I do want to try that exercise. So thank you for that. And thank you again. We will see you next time. Cheers.
Web3.tv